Okay, having looked at the ways in which we can change the styling of WooCommerce, I want to look at more fundamental ways you could change it. So let's say, for example, you wanted to put some information right in this area here, or you wanted to move this information down below under here, or even below the description. In other words, you want to mess around with the structure of the actual WooCommerce output, whether it's the catalog or the checkout or the cart, any of these, you can mess with those. Now you have to know what you're doing. So a warning here, we're getting into PHP and we're getting into template manipulation, but it is quite possible to do, and there's a couple ways to do it. There's fairly good documentation on the Woo Themes website where they talk about how to manipulate WooCommerce in many different ways. Now, one of the things you can do is you can override the templates in WooCommerce by using your own theme. So that's what this is about, overriding templates. Now, the first thing they point out is do not edit the files in WooCommerce, okay? They're going to get overwritten when the plugin's updated, so you don't want to touch those ever, all right? But what you can do, if you really want to get into it, is you can create your own WooCommerce folder in your theme. And the beauty there is that it won't get overwritten when your theme's updated because it's not part of your theme technically. So what you would do is copy the files, whatever ones you need, some or all of them from WooCommerce, put those template files into your theme in a folder called WooCommerce. And it's an override system. So WooCommerce will look in your theme first. Oh, I don't see any files. Then it goes to WooCommerce itself to find the files. All right? But you don't even have to go that far. You can do something called hooking in and filtering. Okay? These actions and filters that you can do, these are called hooks. They literally hook into the structure of WooCommerce. Okay? You can do this in WordPress as well, so it's very similar, but there are specific types of hooks for WooCommerce. All right, and they explain a lot of them here. There's pretty good documentation on the WooCommerce site here. And they say, and this is where you use these hooks, is you add them to your functions.php file in your theme. Okay, so we're not touching WooCommerce. This is in your theme, the functions.php file. And it's exactly like WordPress. You add actions and you remove filters. You do all these different functions inside your functions.php. So let's take a look at what we're talking about here. The simpler way to do it is through these hooks, because you don't need to touch the templates at all. The beauty of it is they've made it possible for you to do all these things. Let me take a look in our text editor here. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the single product template. Okay, so that's the one that's controlling that page with the large image, the description, all the details about a product. But look how simple this template is, okay? You don't even need to mess with this template because look, all it's doing is it's inserting its own hooks here. And you can tap into those hooks through your functions.php file. Look at this. This is a function called WooCommerce Single Product Content. Let's go find that. Well, it's over here in this template file. Let's go find it up top here. There it is. So this one is calling this function, and it's saying, run this function now. And notice this function is then comprised of more hooks in here, right? There's another hook. There's another hook. Again, you can tap into all of these by using your functions.php. So let's take a look at one of these particular hooks as we go down here. So here's a function called WooCommerce Template Loop Price. Okay, what does loop price do? What does that function do? Well, it just goes and finds a little file called price.php, which, if we look over here, is just this. It just calls the price. So it's this kind of cascading series of files and functions that it keeps calling. Well, you can tap into any one of these and change it indirectly. So they're like little places to hook into. And insert whatever you want to do, or move it, change it to a different spot, or put in different information. Okay, so that's the way you want to think of it. If we go back to an actual page in WooCommerce here, think of this as having a series of little points at which you can insert information, where you can remove information. You could take it out of one place and put it into another. All right. So rather than trying to take all these templates and start from scratch and redo it yourself, the developers have left it quite open for you to insert what you need, remove what you need, and create your own template, so to speak, without even having to touch the template files. Anyway, I know there's a lot of information there, but at least it gives you a start of where to look. As I say, there's good documentation on the Woo Themes site itself, showing you how you can override the templates using your own theme.